to for advice, etc., but they're also then, as part of the program, trained in mentoring themselves. Challenges specifically here are identification of best talent for commercial streams, such as offer management. Buying is the more common department name. Customer management, as I explained before, with what we do with our target management group, and store and field operations. Now, to give you, I arrived here in November of 2008, and it's the, just to give you a quick flavour of me, I suppose, at this point. As part of my career development, I left the UK with a view that I would do 3 years overseas, broaden my knowledge, my experience, and get an understanding of the international markets. That was 15 years ago. I'm still here. So I've stuck with it and worked through 4 countries. When I arrived here, I was asked a question by my MD after a couple of months of assessment, and he said to me, what is the view in terms of what you see with your team structure? And I said, Giovanni, I've got a fantastic youth squad. And that's exactly what I had. I said, so I see my role primarily for the duration that I'm here as a coach. I have to actually develop that youth squad into first team players. And I set about, as I said, you can't go about an organisation without having a vision. While we have our corporate vision, our global vision, I gave a vision to my team, and that was that Pakistan would be recognised as the centre of excellence for operations within the Asian region by the end of 2010. And I would say the majority of my team looked at me and thought, this guy is crazy. But having put programs behind that, I would say that, honestly say that, we're 70% there with 3 months still to go to the end of the target date. So setting visions and objectives, not just having them globally, but having them actively in whichever divisional function you occupy is crucial. And it is really a building block towards development. Attraction of expatriate skill, talent to Pakistan is obviously a challenge because of the prevailing security and economic situations, but there's a positive spin to that because we develop the Pakistani national talent far quicker. So there is a positive spin to that. And also, we do struggle in that area because there is a brain drain of talent leaving Pakistan to take up overseas appointments elsewhere. And that creates an increasing vacuum. So one of the challenges for me is the modern trade environment to Pakistan is new. The pool of resource, therefore, with relevant experience is limited. So it is a real challenge. When I did something when I identified that I had this youth squad, and to teach these guys commercial skills will take me 3 to 5 years to really embed the confidence into them. So I took a different view, and I said, right, well, I need to get somebody on the team who has more commercial management, profit and loss management exposure, running a team of 200 plus people, etc. And the view was that I could teach that guy cash and carry in 2 years' time. That guy's, can you stand up, Nadine, please? There's the man. And again, putting an effort behind the development and everything else, it succeeded. And I gave this guy a real challenge to take someone who has commercial management experience, who's a go-getter, wants to deliver, and I said to him, for the first 6 months, Nadine, you will have no output. None. Everything is input. Everything has to be input. I need you to learn and teach. And I've got to say, taking that approach, it was new to me, because I was used to having a pool of resource to dip into. It was a challenge, but it was a challenge that we met. And we've got one of our future Apollo program guys sat over there as well. So, as we see it, talent is the priority. It is the strategy and it is what we see that will give us a very, very clear competitive edge. Thank you very much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Well, that I'm testing one. That I must say was a clinical analysis of the subject. And David very effectively used his own cash and carry company to present to you his thoughts on talent management by showing you cash and carry, the organogram, and the operations that they currently handle. He started off with the corporate movie in the same manner like my good friend Sunil. And the impact of the corporate movie is something that you should take note of, because it has the effect of unifying the members of the organization and building team spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, in the context of modern management, individual brilliance must take second place to teamwork. Managers who are leaders must consciously develop teams who work in cohesion, working towards the achievement of declared objectives. So you can see 290,000 employees. It has to be a structured system to achieve whatever you are planning to achieve. He also presented the company vision, which is very precise. Let me ask you a question. Don't answer. Hands up the managers here who know how to state the vision and mission of the company word to word. Hands up, please. Honestly. The vision and mission of your company. There you are. You see, because that is the real driving force, particularly the senior managers. The vision and the mission must be in the blood, because based on that only you work out your strategies and your plans. But if the vision is too long, I have seen companies having, it relegates the vision to a cosmetic purpose, which is, framed and it is presented in different parts of the company. It must be short and precise. Now, there was an airline company. They were talking about customer service, and they said, their mission, we don't fly airplanes, we fly people, that's all. Then another company went one step further. It said, our vision, our mission is 2020. 20 billion sales turnover to be achieved by the year 2020. So that everybody had this firmly etched in their minds. So that must be given a thought when you're having your mission and vision statements. Then finally, he mentioned about the strategic approach. Today in management, whatever you're doing, even implementing values on a daily practice basis, it must be done strategically. So know your team members. Once when I was a young area sales manager of Unilever, my boss asked me, Upali, do you know about your salesman down south? I said, yes. Is he married? I said, yes. What is his wife's name? I gave the wife's name as Daphne. How many children? I said, 2. Their names? I gave the names. Where do they study? I said, sir, sorry, I couldn't. He said, and you call yourself a manager, and you're managing these people. You should know everything about these guys, their moods, their temperaments, their family, and their preferences and weaknesses and strengths. So make a study of your people in your respective departments. Then and only then you can get the maximum out of them. Talking about knowing your people, if you don't know, you can get into difficulties. I'm sure you have heard of Steven Spielberg. Hands up those who have heard of Steven Spielberg. Good. Steven Spielberg was once in a bar in the United States, and next to him on a stool was a Chinaman. From the pinness of nothing, Steven Spielberg got up and gave the Chinaman a thundering slap. He went sprawling. The Chinaman said, hey, why do you hit me? Why did I hit you? That is for bombing the Pearl Harbor. He said, what? I bombed the Pearl Harbor? The Japanese did that. I'm Chinese. Then Spielberg said, Japanese, Chinese, what's the difference? Then the Chinaman came back, sat on the stool, David, and he gave Steven Spielberg a thundering slap. No, not you. Spielberg went sprawling. And Spielberg said, Why do you hit me? What provoked you? He said, that is for sinking the Titanic. For sinking the Titanic? I didn't sink the Titanic. It was the iceberg. Iceberg, Spielberg, what's the difference? He said. Ladies and gentlemen, I have to make an announcement on behalf of Nutshell. There was to be a third speaker, Mr. Harun Wahid.
1 minute. He just reached here,
Yeah.
but now he will present the...
Now?
No, after tea break.
Mr. Harun Wahid, the HR director of Unilever, my former company, not here. He was to arrive here, but there was a delayed flight, and he has just arrived, but he needs to have a little more time. So we will be stopping in the next 5 minutes or so, and at the time I stop, I will tell you exactly what time you have to come back. And we will start that session with Mr. Harun Wahid's presentation. Is that okay by you? Good. Even if it is not okay, we would have done it. Right, now for the awards. It is my pleasure to call my good friend, the head of human resources of Habib Bank Limited, Dr. Razi Azmat. And also, Mr. Akram Durrani, Director Human Resources, Dawood Group. Two distinguished, competent gentlemen. How are you, Razi? Pleasure to Mr. Akram Durrani began. Dr. Razi Azmat will do the honors in presenting the award to my friend Sunil Disanayaka. And Mr. Akram Durrani will present our token of appreciation to Mr. David Bone. Ladies and gentlemen, the time is 10:35. We break for tea. You can take 25 minutes and be back here for the next presentation. Enjoy the tea.
May I request you all to please take your seats so we can get started again? May I request all our delegates to kindly settle down so we may start our next session? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum. I am Sidra Iqbal, and it's once again a pleasure to be back here as your moderator. I'd run you through the program. We've had an excellent lineup of speakers who've probed you on matters which are really pressing. These are issues that surround us, management and human resource development issues, issues that require a lot of keen observation and some hard work. We talk about Pakistan being a young nation with more than 51% of our population being under the age of 25. Now it's up to us how to harness this energy, this raw passion. Very soon, a lot of you and, the people who are here right now are decision makers, but you will be made responsible for more important roles. It will be your strategy, how you handle things, and how you plan for the coming future that will decide the brightness or the gloominess of your organizations in the coming years. Ladies and gentlemen, we've already probed upon very important issues such as how to manage the energy, how to get people motivated, how to inspire them, how to get them to manage their times and their skill sets better. And more importantly, always remember it's a two-way activity. They're there to serve your organizations, to serve your